myself just to recreate the scene exactly. Delete the other one and do it again. You got it?
Sorry about that, everyone.
Everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Okay. CC, intro, go.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Grave Matters. I am CreepyClownGirl. Alongside of me is the amazingly talented Filia Noctis. Hello, sis. And joining us
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. I was going to say welcome my necrophiliacs.
There you go. Go ahead.
She's just moving right on.
Sorry. All right. Go for it, sis.
Welcome my necrophiliacs.
Sorry.
We also have, as a special guest host, the amazing Possessed Radio.
Aw, thanks. Hello, everyone. You're too nice to me. Blushing.
You know it, gorgeous baby.
Yep.
Now I'm really blushing.
Well, we had to bring someone on to balance because we have as our guest today the absolutely wonderful Midnight researcher.
Greetings,
Hello,
horror
Midnight.
fans. Greetings, horror fans of
Hello.
all states of being and configuration. I bid you special welcome to this episode of Grave Matters featuring CreepyClownGirl, Filia Noctis, Possessed Radio, and myself.
God, I love it when he does that.
Do the intro.
Yeah. What am I here for?
All right, no.
Get it on Traveler's
Because there's
Tavern.
two
Might
of
as well do
us.
it on this one.
I think we'll just go sit in the chat. You guys have a great time. Just kidding.
It's a nose ghost situation. I can't
Yeah,
see you guys.
but yes, welcome to Grave Matters. We've had a pretty chaotic couple of 2 minutes trying to get the show started, but it looks like we're going to get into it pretty quickly here. So, how is everyone tonight in the chat? Let's see who we got here.
We have Infinite Psychosis.
Hi, is
Hey, buddy.
Hey,
Mr.
Derringer.
Chronopasta.
Chronopasta.
And Derringer.
Hi, Chrono.
And Gamma Akutabi.
Hi,
And I'm the only one
Gamma.
who gets to
What's
say
up,
that because
Gamma?
apparently I'm the only one who can
Infinite.
say his last name. We have Dark Horse Tales. Hey, buddy.
Hi, Dark
Good to see
Horse.
you again.
Hello, hello.
And I'm sure we will get more people as the time goes on. And yeah, that's it for now.
Also, remember,
And
as
Josie
Derringer.
Kitty.
Josie. Hi, wifey.
Yep, and Derringer.
Yes, also, Philia did put it in chat, but please, well, sis, you tell them.
Please keep your questions away from the personal side. We will not be answering any personal questions. Keep it towards the persona and the channel side of things. And Mama is in here now too. Hi, Mama.
Hello, Mama.
Hello.
So, I think we have all collected ourselves. This has been a great start, though. Hi, Possessed Radio in chat. Also,
Hi.
hello to As the Raven Dreams behind the scenes. Hello.
Our gracious host of Grave Matters, as the
Right.
Raven
Our
Dream.
tech man extraordinaire.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, the Nevermore Collective is the brainchild of As the Raven Dreams. He made all of this possible for us.
Would
I
you
can
like
do another,
to?
I can do a little bit here. because I feel the need to keep doing my energetic intros because people seem to like them in Traveler's Tavern and here.
Oh, I have the thing for you.
Thing.
Yeah, I have
The little
Yeah,
commercial
here.
we do
Hang on.
before
yeah,
and
if you want to
after
do the
show.
commercial, I can
Yeah, sure. Is it something I can read?
yeah, if
Yeah, sure.
it's I just reposted it in our little where we talkie thing. where we talk.
The Great
Oh my
Matters.
God, our text.
All right. Okay. This episode of Great Matters is brought to you by the Nevermore Collective. The Nevermore Collective is a group of content creators that have come together to create a stage. This platform is for anyone in the community and is designed for content that may not fit on your normal channel. Currently, we have 2 interview shows, The Traveler's Tavern and Great Matters. We also have some narrators that game on this channel, and a show about cryptids. If you have any questions about joining or hosting a show on the platform, please reach out to any of us. As 3 Even Dreams, PA Nightmares, or 242 Reads. It's also gracious host to shows like Traveler's Tavern and Grave Matters.
Some viewer discretion is advised.
Right.
And
So how was that? How was that? Was that any good?
That was
that's
awesome.
perfect.
I feel like I have lost my job as the spokesperson. We're
Also,
just gonna
once
take
you join
and
the
we're done.
right.
Once
Also, once you
the
join
collective,
Collective, you can never
you
leave.
can leave. You can leave
Nevermore.
Once you join the Nevermore Collective, you can leave nevermore.
Nevermore.
And that's it. Great show, folks. Thank you.
Thank you. We're out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, welcome back to signing off.
This is great. Also, letting all of you know ahead of time, and I'll say it at the end. Yeah, I'll just do it at the end. Okay, so who wants to start the questions?
Well,
Well,
lost the show again.
Possessed Radio, go.
All right. So, how long have you been doing the YouTube game?
How long have I been doing the YouTube game? Well, technically, I've been doing the YouTube game since 2018, April 2018, but I've really been doing it on my own since about February 2020. So a couple years. I've been content creating for a while, even before I did YouTube. And recently, I've been really taken to refining my skills. In 2018 through 2019, I was really a bit of a novice at it. I didn't really know what I was doing. But, in 2020 and 2021, I've really tried to stick to what I've done best, refine my techniques, stick to systems that have worked for me. And so far, it's been pretty good. So not a long time.
yes, it has been.
Not a long time, but long enough to where I can have a semi-decent idea of what I've been doing. And I've really, really enjoyed my YouTube journey so far.
We're awesome to have you a part of the horror family. Awesome.
So, for those out there that may not know, what are some of the things that you actually do on your channel? Do you just narrate, or?
I prefer to think of myself as a general horror content creator. I do primarily post narration content. However, I would not consider myself primarily a narrator. I plan to do everything from creepypasta narrations, Reddit horror stories, and analysis on horror movies, playthroughs of horror games, playthroughs of horror game mods, lore around horror subjects like movies, games, stories, whatever. I'm really just open to anything, and while I don't really have a cohesive schedule, I do have a quota. I like to have a certain amount of videos out every single week, so rest assured, while you might not know exactly what you're getting, it's definitely, if you choose to go over to my channel, it'll definitely be a continuous experience of varied horror content.
Oh,
Sounds
cool.
awesome. I'm probably totally spelling
Have
this
you,
wrong,
DCG, I think you were about to say something.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, if have you thought about branching out and maybe doing like the true crime or something like that? I know a lot of people are starting to do that now.
Well, I have a lot of things that I plan on doing. It's just a matter of when I actually get around to it. I really prefer not to obviously I pace myself with the videos, but I prefer not to force myself to work on a specific thing if it doesn't interest me at the time. I lose and gain interest in things somewhat periodically, as I assume most people do with these kinds of things. So yes, I have considered doing many different things, including true crime, and who knows? One day I will probably get around to doing it. It's just a question. It's just a matter of when, not if.
Oh,
That's
okay.
awesome. Oh, excuse me. So since joining YouTube to where your channel was and is now, where do you see it going?
Well, I see myself at a bit of a standstill right now, just because just to put it in brief, yes, some people may know this, some people may not. I'm not the original channel host of the current YouTube channel that I am, but the channel is 100% mine now. Not going into details as the history of why my channel has changed so much over the last few years. It is at a bit of a standstill because the majority of the people who were following me at one point expect one distinct kind of content that I'm not currently producing at the rate that they might expect. But as for where I see it going since I've taken it over, I really don't try to look towards the future, if I'm going to be completely honest. If I were to give one cohesive answer to that, I would say in whatever direction I find that I enjoy making the things that I like to make, and that I keep putting out things that people like to see, regardless of how many people actually see it or not. So I would say I'll keep putting out the same kinds of videos that I have been for a while, for the year or so that I've been on YouTube, and just to sort of keep collaborating with other people, attending some events that are within the horror community, like HorrorCon VR, that kind of thing. Just trying to get my footprint out there right now. I'm not really concerned with big, grand things as much as I am with just establishing myself as me in the community and just seeing what happens from there. You know, it's really just focused on the here and now, not really thinking about what's going to happen 10 years from now. As you know, that hasn't happened yet.
That's a good question. Steven, your question? I mean, sorry, Possessed Radio.
I was just going to clarify. So does that mean you're going to be giving me more gaming content?
Yes.
Excellent. I find few people who enjoy Penumbra as much as I do. So it's refreshing to see.
Well, since you brought it up, go ahead and explain it to us. Because not all of us know what it is.
Is a fantastic horror game, and they made 2 of them. And
3, not 2, 3.
Oh, 3, yeah. I don't know. When did you first play? I first played it in 2009. I know it had already been out for a couple of years.
Here's the thing. Okay, story time. So the developers of the Penumbra series are called Frictional Games, and people might know Frictional Games from making another more infamous title, arguably, called Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Now, I played Amnesia: The Dark Descent way back in 2012. I played that. I played the shit out of that game. And I continued playing the game throughout the years because of the custom stories and full conversion mods that people released for Amnesia. But what I didn't actually know was that Frictional Games made much more than just Amnesia: The Dark Descent. They partnered with a company called the Chinese Room to make Machine for Pigs, and I did check that out. But aside from that, I didn't really know that they had made other games until about 2017, when I first discovered the Penumbra series. And I instantly fell in love with it, even more than I already had been with with Amnesia. So I played Penumbra back in 2017, Penumbra Overture. I played Penumbra Black Plague immediately after that, and I got through Penumbra Requiem about December 2017. So burned through that pretty quick. Played Soma in 2019 on a live stream that is unfortunately not available anymore. But I fell in love with pretty much all of Frictional Games' creations, and I'm actually in the process of making refined mod playthrough videos for Amnesia, just because I have so much experience with those kinds of custom stories, and I figure, why not make content about them if I'm already so used to playing them, even if they're not full-on games themselves or just mods. It's still something that people can see, you know, if they're stuck in a certain mod that they'd like to see the solution to, or if they just want to watch it like it's a game walkthrough or cinematic game movie. I know those are pretty popular. So, yeah, that's pretty much me and Frictional Games in a nutshell, at least as it stands right now.
Sounds like a decent respect is there.
Yes.
Now, do you need a specific gaming console, or is this a PC game?
It's on pretty much all the platforms out there: PC, Xbox, PS4. At least Amnesia: The Dark Descent, which is the most popular one. I don't know if the Penumbra series is on anything other than PC, but it's a pretty old game. It can run on even the most potato of computers, I imagine. So yeah, you just need a computer for Penumbra, and for Amnesia and Soma, you can do it on your PC, your Xbox, your PS4.
Awesome.
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 So my
Then
question,
maybe I should dip my toes in this murky water.
and hopefully I will be able to join HorrorCon this October. Hopefully this computer works out, so everybody cross your fingers.
That's
So,
the next thing I was going to talk about. I was going to ask him about HorrorCon.
Ask
As he brought
away.
it up.
Ask away.
Tell us about HorrorCon and the whole VR thing.
Oh, HorrorCon VR. Oh, I accidentally. Can people still hear me?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. So HorrorCon VR is an event in VR chat organized by Mr. Creepypasta and a bunch of other iconic horror content creators. It debuted last year. A bunch of people came together and got into a game called VR Chat. Despite what the name says, you don't actually need VR to play VR Chat. That's something that a lot of people were confused about, and even to this day, after the convention, people have been saying, yeah, I kind of wanted to go, but I couldn't because I didn't have virtual reality. And then we cry because people don't actually need virtual reality to join VR Chat and HorrorCon VR. So we're trying to get that message out there. I was staff for the last, well, not staff exactly. I was a moderator, for the last HorrorCon VR. So I wasn't that there for much of the festivities per se. I was there for a fair bit, but not all of them. I was mostly busy moderating panels and booths and art and stuff like that. So what everybody did is they got into this world. It was a giant convention center filled with a bunch of portals that can go to different sections. And separate from that main convention center, there were links periodically posted to different panels and different live events that people did. You had people like Madame Macabre, Imagine Monster V, myself, of course, Troll Force, Magnus Peccatori. I believe Raven, as the Raven Dreams, our host, was there as well. He had his own booth, and we had people like Tales from the Gas Station Jack from Tales from the Gas Station. We had people like the guys who made Cat Ghost, Crispy Animation. We had Creep Spaghetti, just everybody from all walks of life and all corners of horror content creation just coming together in this virtual reality game. And it was just a very, very good time. There was going to be another one, HorrorCon VR 2021, or HorrorCon 2, however you want to say it, this October. I believe they just posted a tweet, 11 hours ago. HorrorCon VR tweeted out, HorrorCon VR 2021, October 29th through the 31st. So that's going to be the 29th through Halloween.
Oh, yes.
And I encourage everybody who's watching.
It was perfect time to ask about it.
To check out the HorrorCon VR website. I'm asking you all to just go to that website, go to the Twitter. I'm asking you to retweet this. And there is a Discord server. The Discord server is 100% public. You can join it, but please behave yourself. And there is a YouTube channel. I don't know if anything's posted there. There's a YouTube channel. There's a Twitch where everything is going to be streamed live and hosted. So, yeah, it's just going to be a very good time. I'm probably going to be moderating again, and I'm definitely going to be hosting my own panel again. Last year I hosted a panel on Lovecraftian aspects and the history of horror in horror gaming. But this year I'm probably going to be hosting something different. I talked about it a little bit on Traveler's Tavern, but I'll save that for later. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I think that people would need to know about HorrorCon VR to get themselves interested in it. So, yeah, check it out. It's pretty cool, if I do say so
and
myself.
we have the links in the chat. That's awesome.
There you go.
Oh, good, because
I'm
I had
excited
just
to-
gone and got the link to the HorrorCon via server. But okay, go on.
Okay. I'm excited because I didn't know until literally 2 weeks ago, when you were on Traveler's Tavern, that you didn't need the VR goggles. I thought you did, so I was like, well, I'm interested, but I can't do it because don't have these
really like it's weird. It's not like people. I'm not trying to say people are like stupid or anything, but it's like it's really weird that we really tried our damnedest. Like even in some of the graphics we had custom made for the HorrorCon, we really tried to push the message that hey, people do not need VR to join HorrorCon VR or VR chat in general. But still, I guess it's just kind of the name VR chat. It just kind of sends a message all on its own. So that was unfortunate, but. We're all doing our part to sort of still press that message that you do not need. Yes, audience, Grave Matters audience, you do not need VR in order to join VR chat and HorrorCon VR at that. So there you go. That's your disclaimer.
I had taken that to mean that you could watch, but you couldn't participate. That's what I thought. Right, that's what I thought. If you didn't have the VR headset, that you could just watch, but you couldn't do anything else.
What we were trying to say for that is that if you didn't have a computer that could run VR chat, we would be Twitch streaming it. But if you did have a computer and just desktop, no VR, you could definitely still join VR chat.
Yeah. Well, I know now, but that's what. So.
I'm explaining for the audience.
Yeah, that's a really neat thing. So I'm very excited about that. And I will make sure I will be passing it on too.
I had a bunch of fun last HorrorCon, and I'm definitely going to have a lot of fun this year. And also, there is an event pretty much every single Saturday that goes on in the HorrorCon VR Discord. Weekly VR chat meetups. So people, if they want to, can meet these giants of horror in VR chat, even for just a bit. It happens every week. People like Well Hey Productions, Imagine Monster V, Abaddon Ikana, Trollforce, myself, Magnus Peccatori, Mr. Creepypasta, Well Hey Productions, just pretty much everybody of the regulars in the VR chat, HorrorCon VR server meets up every Saturday, 3 p.m. CST. So go ahead and join the server and check it out if you like. It's really fun. We usually go world hopping.
Oh,
I would love to go world hopping.
Cool.
Oh, that is so cool. I'm so looking forward to it. This computer can't come fast enough. So,
right.
Exactly.
Okay, so
question for you. As soon as let me breathe.
Stay calm.
I am Obi-Wan.
Are you flustered?
No. I
Is it
was
something
taking a
Felia's
drink.
said?
No, I was taking a drink. So it's like, come up for air sometime soon. Midnight Researcher. My question to you is, when it comes to your narration style and delivery, what are your biggest strengths and weaknesses?
Point out a weakness already. It's longevity. I never do any narration in one take. That's physically impossible for me. What I do is basically I edit the audio on the fly. So whenever I mess up, I have Audacity just right there. So I go in and cut it right then and there, and then I just proceed with the next take. I would say that is, I've never been able to do something in one take. It's just not possible for me. I have to keep reading the thing, and I have pretty poor eyesight, so I have to have the computer monitor right next to my face as well as the microphone right next to my face. So I would say, longevity and consistency might be a weakness of mine. But as for a strength, I would say I don't have a lot of trouble with alliteration. I have been able to keep my tones pretty consistent, even if it's a little monotone at times. I value consistency in my videos, so it's easy to understand. And I guess I have a certain, I guess this is technically counts as a strength. I have a certain quality filter. I will not narrate certain horror stories or creepypasta. Like, I'm very much not a fan of the, I died at the end, but I'm typing this now. Like, oh, the end of the story is the last thing I saw is blah, 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 blah. But then how is the story ended up on there? Like, that's just kind of, I know immersion isn't really a thing anymore, but I like to preserve as much of it as I can. So I much prefer to read the stories that are plausible written accounts of something that may or may not have happened, and not just, this guy killed me, the last thing I saw was his knife, but somehow I'm posting this on creepypasta.com. So, yeah.
Closer to truth.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Steven?
So what's the,
I mean,
the gold
possessed radio.
standard for a story then? Oh, you're fine.
The gold standard for story.
Like what do you hold in regard as the best creepypasta you've read?
Ooh. Well, it's kind of weird because this one sort of breaks what I just established, but I really, really like 705. It was a creepypasta I discovered way back in 2013, and it's just kind of got to me ever since then. I just did a narration of it a couple of weeks ago. It's up on my channel. It's where this guy receives text messages from himself, and it does require a little bit of theater of the mind to sort of ration out why or how this written account of him would get up online. I just kind of imagined it as, instead of him sending himself text messages and going through a time loop, he instead wrote up a whole account, and it got onto the internet one way or another, since he still had his phone with him when he goes to check out what he had texted himself in the future. So that's one of them. But another one is The Strangers. Now, I haven't read this one. It's a very, very long one, but it's about where basically this guy keeps going onto this train to check out this guy that he noticed, who was absolutely still. He doesn't move. This stranger that this guy is investigating. Protagonist is investigating a stranger that doesn't move, and he stays on the train for as long as it'll let him, and eventually he follows this stranger off of the train, and he finds out he's no longer on Earth. He's no longer on Earth, and he ends up eternally having to keep going on different trains that take him to alien worlds. Now, he regrets following the stranger eventually, because he realizes that, hey, I followed this guy into an alien world. I'm not on Earth anymore. What the fuck do I do? So, basically what he does is he eventually, after traveling through a bunch of alien worlds, meeting a bunch of these horrors, and actually being changed into these alien creatures, because that's actually the explanation as to why he followed this unmoving stranger, is that sometimes you get stuck in these alien worlds and you can't transition to the alien worlds easily, and the only way to change into another alien world, to get some hope of going back to your original planet or dimension or whatever, is you can change your place if you get stuck by either killing somebody there or luring them into the endless maze yourself of this endlessly moving through dimensions train. So this guy ends up killing a bunch of aliens, and then eventually he swears off killing, and the entire story is told from the perspective of him writing out his story on every scrap of paper or every surface that he can find, and saying that he's not going to try and return to Earth anymore. He's going to find whoever designed this. He's going to find whoever constructed this weird train labyrinth through alien worlds and planets, and he's going to take them down. I found that amazing, and it is such a good
Sounds
story.
really interesting.
It's such a long story. I haven't narrated it yet, but I will one day when I can find the time and energy for that. It's such a great story because it leaves so much to the imagination. You don't know who made it. You don't know why. You don't even really find out who the stranger is, who the protagonist followed anymore. He just kind of leads him into the maze himself and just says, sometimes you can get stuck. Good luck out there, buddy. I don't know how to get you back, but you're stuck here too. So it's great. It's great psychological horror. It's great sci-fi horror. It's great abject horror, and I love that story.
Sounds like a good one.
It does sound like a good one. That has my interest peaked.
Yeah.
Got a couple questions from the audience too.
Did we?
Yep.
I got so engrossed I wasn't paying attention.
So, Patience asks, what is your favorite part of recording and making a video, and what is your least favorite? And do you, or do you not have anything that makes it easier on you?
My favorite part of recording and making a video is actually the editing, because I can play around with a bunch of stuff there. Like different effects, different ways to make my voice sound different videos, different effects I can put on those videos. I just like assembling things in the editor timeline. That's really it. My least favorite part of the video is writing scripts, because it just gets so monotonous trying to think up creative ways to write things, even if it's for something like a top 10 list. Do I have anything that makes it easier on me? Alcohol sometimes. Like, I've found that sometimes it's really difficult to record because I keep stumbling over my words and stuttering sometimes. But I found if I drink a few beers, I can just really, really be good at recording. But then there's also some times where I can just drink one more beer after drinking a bunch, and then I'm just terrible. So it's a very hit or miss for that. So I don't do that as much as I used to. So, yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's your answer for that, Patience.
Very good question.
All right. And then Derringer also asks, you said you do the video games, I do the video games. In your opinion, what are the best and worst horror games that you've played?
Ooh, best horror game. I'd probably have to say the Penumbra. Yeah, anything for frictional games is my favorite-ish. Like, I know that's not a specific one. If I had to put a single title as my favorite horror game, I would probably say The Forest, because that's a really cool survival game. It's open world, but there is a story to it, so you can do it at your own pace. And the creatures in that are just really, really horrifying. So there's 7 Days to Die, which is also another survival game. My least favorite one that I've played is probably going to have to be Daylight, because that was a 2014 one that relied heavily off of Slender and a bunch of other indie survival horror games at the time. It was just basically, the game amounted to you not knowing who you are, waking up to a voice telling you what to do, wandering around a gigantic prison, wandering around a gigantic forest outside, and it was very uninspired and did not really do a whole lot to revolutionize any kind of genre. So, fuck you, Daylight.
If I remember correctly, that is one that I want to say that was one of the early ones they were playing around with procedural generation with.
Yeah, that's it. Look, they hyped up the procedurally generated aspect of it, but then it was just a bunch of generic corridors just smashed together in different ways, so you had no idea what you were doing. Again, it was just you wandering around a gigantic prison for half the game and dodging this one enemy that was very Slender-like. So, there you go.
I think Jessica Chobot wrote that game, the story for it.
It's mostly the design I'm ragging on. The story's all right, but I'm just not a fan of how the game turned out. It had so much potential for the whole procedural generated thing, and then they didn't do much with it. So
yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
Fuck your life.
Random question here.
Yeah.
What fictional character, if fictional, do you think has had the most influence on your life? If fictional.
Horror related, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it is, it may not be.
Honestly, can't. Nothing immediately comes to mind when I try to answer that question. So I'll think on that and maybe come back to that later.
Okay.
sorry to disappoint. That's not something I've thought about before.
No problem. Just a random question.
So, I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Hold on. If if I remember how this goes, let's see, if you could narrate any chapter of your life in a story, which chapter would it be and why?
I would not. That's your question. My life's kind of boring.
Okay. There you go.
Sorry to just shut you down there, but yeah, that's honestly the case. I just wouldn't. Nobody would want to look at what I've really done except for what I do on YouTube. So there you go.
Okay, so another real quick one.
Yeah.
If you only had 5 minutes to live, what would your final words be?
That's a good question. 5 minutes is a long time to say stuff, though. So
Okay.
I don't want to die. Would probably be the first thing that comes out of my mouth when I found out I was going to die in 5 minutes. I died as I lived. That's a good one. Yeah, you could say a lot in 5 minutes. You could read out a creepypasta in 5 minutes before you died.
Well, I
True
don't think I'm
that.
going to do that one again.
Right.
Count that one as a fail.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Okay. Raven asks, "You've got 5 minutes to live. How quickly can you get through all the stages of grief?" I wouldn't, because I'm gonna die and everything. So, okay. Patience G asks, "Favorite movie doesn't have to be horror. Favorite movie is just still Ringu. It is a horror movie. I love that movie. It is such a great example of psychological horror." And Derringer asks, "What monster enemy boss in the game was the most terrifying, painful to face in your opinion? The water monster from Amnesia is the bane of my existence and the reason why I hate water." Well, it would have to be a monster from Amnesia like yours, but it's not the water monster, it's the suitor, because those things are the closest in frictional games to being human, while still being completely horrifying and absolutely naked as well. And they can kill you in just kind of one slash, and especially in Amnesia Justine, the expansion where they show up. If you die in that game, you have to start all the way over. There is no saving in that game. So the fear of death is a lot more pronounced. And they can talk as well. They have voice lines. They're not just like grunting like like all the other monsters are in the Dark Descent and others. So yeah, the suitor from Amnesia Justine is probably the most horrifying one. But there's also another contender. It would probably have to be supplemented by the Virginia from the forest, which is basically a mutated human that's found on this island. It is just basically a bunch of people plastered together, kind of like Human Centipede, but not that way. It's just kind of a bunch of...
Oh God.
It's very spider-like. It has multiple legs and multiple arms and no distinct face. Moves like a spider, jumps very fast, jumps and runs very fast. It's very horrifying to contend with. There are other enemies in the forest, but they don't really compare to Virginia. So Suitor from Amnesia Justine and Virginia from the forest.
Wow.
You know, you
That's
mentioned
terrifying.
Human Centipede, and I'm just not going to go into that conversation.
Yeah,
Please. So we're good. Oh, God, no.
So,
CC
Patience
is definitely
asks,
the B in the group.
Any hobby? Okay, so
Um,
Patience G asks, any hobbies outside of YouTube? A game with my friends. I write stuff with friends who aren't really that into horror. I I've tried to draw, but I'm no good at it. It's just really just writing and gaming. I play Pokemon Go a lot. I bike a whole lot. I do geocaching a lot of the time because that helps hone my treasure hunting skills. If anybody knows what geocaching is, big fan. I love you.
You should so totally look me up on Pokemon Go.
I bike around my town a lot. I Pokemon Go. I geocache. I go to sometimes I go to the library when they're doing events. I mean, obviously when the pandemic isn't happening. But yeah, mostly it's just YouTube and content creation right now. That's where I'm at in life. This is really the high point and the most interesting thing that's going on in my life. So yeah, don't really have a job outside of here.
Let's see. We also have from Saris, what is your top favorite gory horror film? And I'll let you answer, then I'll answer.
Gory horror film.
House of 1,000 Corpses.
No. Saw 3, I guess. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen... Maybe Saw 1 or Saw 3. But it's been a while since I've actually seen any gory horror films. I'm very much more of a fan of... Oh, there's what's it? I forgot the name of it, but it's like I think it might be The Descent, where that team goes into a cave and they come across these like crawler things.
Yeah.
There's that. There's that.
Descent.
So that's what the forest is derived from, essentially.
No, the forest is actually derived from a real island, if you didn't know.
No, I mean the creatures in it.
No, oh yeah, there is that, but the creatures are actually also based, at least from what I heard, on a real island called North Sentinel Island, where there's an uncontacted tribe that lives on an island near India, I believe, and they basically attack anybody from the outside world who tries to come approach the island. It's really, really interesting.
Gotcha. Yeah, if you look at the Sons of the Forest trailer, they even made them look more like they do in The Descent now.
Yeah. I'll both of them, both the island and the Descent really contributed to the forest. But as for the movie, yeah, it's probably either going to be Saw 3 or The Descent 1. We don't talk about The Descent 2. That's a terrible movie.
Oh, please, yeah, let's not and say we did.
Has anybody seen Terrifier?
No.
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 That one's a pretty good one if you like killer clowns.
Does The Shining count? I mean, that's not really a gory horror film, I'd say. I mean, it's more...
technically, it's got a lot of blood in an elevator.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I definitely would count The Shining as more of a psychological.
You know, I'd count The Shining as still nobody knows to this day what is even going on in that movie.
You know, there's a lot of psychological horror movies, but the one that really to this day has stuck to me, and the people have never been caught, and you want to talk about psychological, this has really, really messed with my head since watching it, is The Strangers. I don't know how many of you have seen that movie, but if you haven't, yeah, I don't recommend it. It really, really gets inside of your head, and then you can really, really feel the fear. I know it's actors and, you know, playing the parts, but it's just the thought of, you know, you're out at a cabin, you're trying to keep your, you know, your life going with your spouse, and he's going to ask her to marry him, and these people come up and they turn off the light bulb to the porch, and the little girl, oh my, I'm not going to spoil it, but if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it.
That was the one with Liv Tyler, right?
I did watch The Strangers, but then I made the horrible mistake of watching the YMS video on that, and now I can't unsee all the mistakes and everything in that movie. I agree, it's a great concept.
And that was a remake.
I've been yeah. I've been spoiled by internet critics on a lot of these horror movies, which I really wish didn't happen, because some of the arguments that these critics make about horror movies are very specific and not really the intent of the people who made them. But still, it's
I still won't watch that movie again. I can't.
really
It
it messed with you that bad.
It did, yes. Because it is based on a true story. That it really did happen. Regardless of the accuracy of it, it doesn't matter. It's the concept of the whole thing.
I agree.
And it's just, that, they're in our bedroom, and it's like they hear somebody walking by them. They are so mentally effed up that when their friend comes in, they blow them away. I mean, come on. It's like, do you wait to fire the gun, or do you? And then behind him you see the killer walk. Yeah, the torture. And behind him you see the killer coming up. It's
creepy.
And then the ending was just horrific to me, because it's like she wakes up, long enough and the phone rings and she tries to get help and she dies. It's just, it really, really messes me up. I won't watch it ever again. And I hope someday justice can be given to those that did that crime. It's horrendous. I'll quit rattling. Go on, you guys.
No, you're fine.
Tell us how you really feel about that movie.
No. Okay, so I have a question for all of you. Have you, and I'll answer this as well, have you seen what came out of that movie, or at least what that movie inspired, the short horror web series on YouTube, No Through Road?
I'm not familiar with it.
Oh.
Really? Well, to explain a little bit, because it's one of my favorite weird, creepy, unexplainable videos, at least the first one is. The second one, third one, and fourth one are kind of but they're all right. These, I spoke about it on one of my own videos. Basically, No Through Road is a video record of these teenagers who get lost on a dark road, and in their own car, they're trying to get home. They take a wrong turn or something, and they come upon a road that keeps looping. And whenever they stop to investigate what they found on the side of the road and stuff like that, there's this figure in a mask that keeps stalking them, and their radio starts playing really weird stuff. I think they play a song from the Strangers movie. It's a really, really good example of internet psychological horror as well. It was sort of what led to things like Marble Hornets and Everyman Hybrid. Not for Slender Man, obviously, but just for that sort of aspect of believable amateur level of psychological horror. I really, really like that series. So
Check it out.
We have another question from the chat. Chronopasta asks, who is your favorite horror author? I'm going to place bets on that one.
it's gotta either be it's gotta either be Joseph K., who wrote Fog, Exit, and a bunch of other ones, or Michael Whitehouse, who wrote
He wrote On a Hill.
Yeah, he wrote On a Hill. He wrote Bedtime. He wrote Bits and Pieces, and he wrote a bunch of others. So it's a tie between those two. And Joseph K., wrote Fog. He wrote Exit. He wrote, I don't remember the name of the story, but it's about a guy who wakes up on a spaceship and everything like that. It's Joseph K. or Michael Whitehouse.
Cool. Okay.
What's my favorite cryptid? A skinwalker. Because you can do a lot of things. People have said that skinwalkers take many forms, like coyotes, feral people, things that aren't even human-looking or coyote-looking. They can do a lot of things. They can imitate voices. They can whistle. They can imitate other people perfectly. They can imitate other people imperfectly, and it's even more creepy. There's a lot of uncanny valley there. Yeah, skinwalker. Thank you, Derringer, for asking that.
Okay, zombie.
Patience G asks, is there a type of video or style you haven't done before that you're interested in or would like to do, even if it's not horror related? Yes. I think that what I talked about on Traveler's Tavern classifies as that. I want to do a Midnight Society VR story time. That's the series that I was going to talk about doing, but I'll talk about that more later. So, what were you saying, CCG?
No, continue.
Okay. Well, no, I was pretty much done talking about that. So.
Okay. I was going to ask you a zombie apocalypse. Slow zombies or fast?
Like, what do you mean?
Do you want to be up? Oh my God. Do you want to have slow zombies where you can kill them easier, or do you want a challenge? A zombie that can run and jump?
Actually, I prefer fast zombies to be not that much of a challenge, because usually when fast zombies are depicted, there's not a lot of them in a group. Slow zombies actually can be kind of the more dangerous one, because if you pick them off one by one, they're probably easy to deal with, but if you get a whole ton of them, you're kind of boned, like, a lot. They overwhelm you a lot. Fast zombies, yes, they're aggressive, but they're typically very brittle and weak, and you can shoot them one by one. But slow zombies, yes, you can shoot them, but if there's too many of them, you run out of ammunition or something like that, and you just get overwhelmed. Then boom, you're zombie food.
No, I'll kill myself before that happens. Unless I have to be reanimated.
I have another gaming question for you. Okay, so we kind of saw a big shift after Penumbra, Amnesia, Outlast towards this more, I guess, idea of horror as being more on the defenseless side and more about getting away or sneaking away, whichever method you prefer. Do you think that's the better route to go in terms of horror games, or do you miss when there is more actual action to it?
Well, from my perspective, I'd say that while a bunch of people hate the fact that you just can't, in Outlast or whatever, when the enemies are just regular insane people, I can understand some of the frustration when they say, why can't I just pick up a steel bar and bash this guy's head in? I feel like it depends on the design, but I definitely do prefer the sort of defenseless aspect, because if you're just given a shotgun or something like that, then it doesn't turn into a horror game. It turns into a adventure sort of fighting game. The enemies are no longer something that you have to contend with. There's something that you have to shoot in the head. You know what to do when you encounter them. You know how to deal with them. If you're defenseless, like in Amnesia, you don't know how to deal with them. The only way you know how to deal with them is to hide from them, and you don't instinctively know their behavior. You don't know what to expect, because you never, in the past, you wouldn't have had to think about what their behavior is if you just instantly jump to the objective of, oh, how can I kill this thing? You know, I feel like, yes, it is a very good thing that horror is going towards the more defenseless aspect. It depends on the material, obviously. Like, again, some people disagreed with the Outlast being defenseless thing, because a bunch of those enemies are just regular people that you could probably bash their heads in really easily. But then when you get to some of the more brutal monsters like Chris Walker or the Wall Rider, I do agree with the defenseless thing, because those things are not human anymore, let's put it that way. So yes, I would say that it's a good direction to bring horror in. Limited defense is also pretty good, like pushing things out of the way in certain events, or having weaponry, but having it be limited and sort of clumsy. So, yes, I would say.
Okay, I could understand that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Good point.
Very good point. Oh,
Are you okay, Cece?
I'm yawning.
You
I'm just
ate
yawning.
before the show, and now your belly's full. And
Yeah. And I'm having poor man champagne, so I'm good. I'm sipping it. I'm sipping, so I'm completely 100% sober. So, anyways, so Midnight Researcher, for new and upcoming narrators, what is one good piece of advice that you would give them to help them on their journey?
Don't be afraid to ask for help, because I've said this like 3 or 4 times over the last couple of weeks to the public, but I was increasingly surprised at how easy it was to get help, to get collabs, to get people supporting me through friends, just by asking. Like, even through the giants of YouTube, like Mr. Creepypasta Jr., Creeps McPasta, those kinds of people. All I had to do was just ask, and I was in contact with them and collaborating with some of them as well. Like, there might be certain stipulations to it, but, generally I found people are trying to be more receptive these days to people trying to collaborate and grow their own channel off of doing joint work with others that might be way, way bigger than they are. So, and they have a bunch of advice as well that they can give to younger and smaller channels that are rising off of what they had done before. So yeah, don't be afraid to reach out and ask those who are more experienced than you, because it will work out in your favor if you be polite about it, if you work hard at it, and if you are respectful about it. So yeah.
The one piece of advice that I try to give new and upcoming narrators, and there's been a few of them, that the first thing I do is, if you follow me on Twitter, I'm checking your YouTube channel out. And if I do not see links, if I know that the story is not yours and you are not properly crediting the author or the person that gave you, or, that you're using their content, I will not follow nor subscribe to you. Because that will get you blacklisted nor promote, because it will get you blacklisted in the community. And not only that, but being a promoter and supporter, I cannot bring you into the horror community, because then, it gives a bad name. So my advice is, make sure you descript and share links. So.
Ooh, I think also good advice. Just do it. Just go record something. You don't need the best equipment. That was my downfall. I always wanted to make sure I had really good stuff, and then I ended up procrastinating for way too long.
I will say there is a certain thing that you have to have. Just not you don't have to have the most professional equipment. Obviously, you can do like what I'm doing right now. You can record with a $20 mic you bought. It's really just about you at that point. But there is a certain level you have to be at. Don't just record. Like, if you're doing a gaming video, don't just record with your cell phone and pointing it at the screen. There's a bunch of free stuff that you can get that wasn't available for free 10 years ago. You can get a screen recorder for free. You can get audio editing stuff for free. And microphones especially are a lot cheaper these days and a lot better quality than they were 10 years ago. So you don't have to scrounge up a month's worth of cash to buy recording equipment. You can just get stuff off of Amazon and it'll work decently well with a couple of tweaks to the audio as well. Like, obviously don't just let the technology limit you, because at the end it's all about you and how you make your content. But it is nice to adhere to some basic level of standards, I will say, starting out. But obviously that's not everything. So
Derringer, why are you crying? He goes, I asked you for love which is better than advice.
Oh, they're having a whole thing in there.
Yeah. Okay, Patience, I'll stop.
Okay, so do you have a story that you did that like really got to you emotionally?
I'd have to see. I've done a lot of stories over the years. Got to me? Like that I was actually scared of when reading it?
You're just either scared or just got you in the feels.
I don't think any stories have gotten me in the feels yet, but I will say there are some stories that really just got to me, kept me awake at night. Like
Yeah.
Huntsville camping trip or The Smiling Girl is one of them, because that story starts off really simple with a simple premise and then just goes basically into Silent Hill territory where nothing makes sense and things are just the right amount of unsettlingly creepy, and has an ambiguous ending as well, and it is perfectly possible for it to have been posted online. So Huntsville camping trip or The Smiling Girl, because it's known by two names. Yeah, there's one.
Cool.
Oh, I have to check that out. Definitely.
Yeah.
So what's your dream collab?
I've been asked this before, and I'll say I've already done all my dream collabs, mostly just with people in the community, like Mr. Creepypasta, Magnus Peccatori, Troll Force, just anybody basically. I've already done them. I guess if I had to pick one, it'd be nice if I could get somebody like Corpse Husband to work with me. I feel like that would be really awesome, but I don't really have any active collabs that I'm seeking that I haven't already done things with in the past, as referring to people in those collabs. So yeah.
Oh my God! Speaking of that, I had a dream that I was going to collab with Corpse Husband, and come the day of the collab, we were really literally on video call, and all of a sudden he wasn't Corpse Husband, but he turned into some kind of freaking creature. It's like, now I know I've been in this horror community too long.
That wasn't a dream. He just wiped your memory.
What the hell? No, that was a I don't know if you could consider that a nightmare or not, but
What is going on in chat? Oh my goodness.
what?
I was hoping there was a trial by combat, but it's a rap battle.
A rap battle? What?
I'm just catching up.
Chronopasta asks, to the Nevermore Collective, all of us, if there was one crime you could commit without any repercussion, what would it be and why?
Ooh,
Oh, good question.
I would steal bare minimum 170 grand, because that's how much I need for my student loans.
Yeah, I just need money. I'd steal $1 million bucks.
Yup.
Like, I do all the hard work and stuff myself, but please give us money. Please give us money.
My crime. What was the question again?
If you could commit one crime without any repercussions to it, what would it be and why?
I know what I would be doing. Mine would be tracking down and killing pedos, people that do harm to other people.
Yeah.
I'd be, yeah. I would be known as the torture maid. That would be my superhero name.
It's
Torture maid.
CCG, it says one crime, so I'm assuming you can only do this particular thing, whatever you're choosing, once. So If it wasn't
Well,
just
it's one crime. It may happen multiple times, but it's only one crime.
Only one crime.
okay. Well, then rephrasing it to a singular, one-time crime. What would it be? CCG?
Oh, I see.
Oh, a one time.
Including hackers.
Yes, I am. Shut up.
One crime. Having sex with a president.
Oh.
Okay.
Is that necessarily a crime?
Yes, it is.
I don't think it is.
Well,
Okay, so.
oh, thank
It
you.
may be
Thank
in
you,
bad taste, but I don't think it is.
thank you, Filia. You linked my narration of the smiling girl. Yeah.
Yes,
That's-
I did.
Okay,
very
one
much.
crime without repercussion. I'd rob a bank.
Yeah, money. Please give us money.
Yes.
I think I would rig one of the Powerball games,
There you go.
one of the lottery games, because you can get a hell of a lot more from a lottery than you can from a bank robbery.
Okay, so Chronopasta asked, favorite restaurant can be fast food or non? Five Guys
What?
Five Guys Burger and Fries, I guess. I love Five Guys.
Do you?
Yes,
I'm
Really?
not a fan.
it's expensive, but
Yeah,
their stuff is
it
so
is,
good.
and I don't think the
It's-
quality is for.
No, it's so good.
Maybe it's just the one I eat at. The one up by where I live sucks.
Oh,
It's
well.
just not good.
Patience asked, who am I choosing to fight? Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, or Jason Voorhees?
Michael Myers.
Any of them, but I would fight them when they were a baby, so it would be no contest. And because he didn't specify when I had to fight them.
So, Midnight, you're
Yeah.
on death row. You're gonna die.
No,
What's your last meal?
no,
Yep, you can fight with her on this one.
I'm not on death row. All right, this you guys, people try to do this to me on Traveler's Tavern. All right, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Here we go.
I'm not on death row. I'm an eldritch being. I'm gonna escape death row and put you all on death row. I'm gonna kill all of you.
Oh well, chill your roll, homie.
What would
if
you
you're
like to
gonna
eat while you do it?
What would I like to eat while I kill
That's a
everybody?
good one.
Human flesh, probably, because I'd be probably really crazy at that point. So I just eat people.
So for Filia, what would your method of execution for her be? What would your method of execution for me be?
Methods
And
of execution.
what would your and what would your method of execution be for possessed radio?
Creepy Clown Girl, you would die death by nutrient deficiency while being surrounded by actual creepy clown girls. So death by your kin.
Oh,
They would-
thanks.
They would taunt you with food and water. You wouldn't be able to get any.
Oh, I love you too.
Feely, you would be placed in front of a computer and unable to leave as people wrote mean comments at you forever until the end of time.
Oh.
Raven, you would be stuck. You would be stuck in front of a computer as well, and until you starve or die of thirst. You would be told that the only way for you to live was to fix Streamlabs, and Streamlabs would never be fixed. It would be a trick thing. Possessed Radio, you would be everybody would be sat in front of a computer except for CCG. You would be sat in front of a computer, except you would have to do a collaboration with 500 people in 24 hours and upload it all in one video, or else you die.
Does it have to be edited?
Yes.
Oh, damn it, that close.
Oh my god. So Ginger or Marianne? Midnight.
What? I'm sorry, what?
Ginger or Marianne?
Ginger.
Why Why do you guys always go for the plastic?
You know
Anyways.
what? They don't. Actually, more of them go.
I
for
know.
Mary
I know
Ann.
you went for Mary Ann, which is awesome.
The ones that know who they are.
Right. Hey, Chrono, you're blue. Sweet.
Congratulations.
And
Wow. Okay. So everybody else gets to just like starve to death, but no, I have to sit here for eternity. Wow.
No. Everybody starves to death because that's the most slow and painful way to die. But it's just what they're surrounded by while they're doing it, and 2 of them get to supposedly get out of it if they finish an impossible task, but they can't. So.
Hey.
But what are you whining about, sis? You get a computer. I get a chair and clowns.
Yeah,
No, you're all tied down. You can't actually do anything on it. You would just be forced to look at mean comments over and over. Actual mean comments.
That's silly, but I get clowns waving food and water in my face.
Yes.
Oh.
So what?
I did a 50-person collaboration.
You bastards tried to put me on death row. I had to punish you.
I did do a 50-person collaboration.
No, not 50. I said 500.
No, but
that
did
was for
do
Possessed.
a 50-person collaboration.
It only feels like
did.
500 when you're editing it.
Right.
And there was 90 submissions that I ended up editing. No,
right.
I only edited 80 of them because there was a chunk of 10.
Right.
With title cards and everything.
Right. That's Poetry Potluck.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't checked any of them out, I have a playlist on my channel, and Filia has on her channel as well. So, Midnight, if you could be any fictional horror movie killer, who would it be and why, and who would your first victim be?
You. It's going to be you.
You? I pick you.
Thanks, sis. Throw me under the bus.
I guess. I'd probably just pick. Do internet movies count, or does it have to be actual movie?
Horror movie killer.
Counts.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd pick any one of the creatures from Interviral's horror films, and I'd just kill the kid who was stupid enough to investigate the abandoned house, or the abandoned mental asylum, or the tunnels under his house.
That would be me. I'm not going exploring anytime soon.
Oh, I totally do that. I totally explore and probably get murdered, but fuck it. Let's do it for the content. Fuck it, let's do it for the content.
Hell yeah, I'll go with you. Oh, and along the way we'll grab Dismo Hero. Yeah. Who? Dismo Hero is an explorer. He's also at one time a narrator, I believe. He's here on YouTube. Hasn't uploaded in a while though.
If you could have lunch with, say, 3 people, dead or alive, past, anybody, who would those 3 people be?
Well, there's my friend Bliss. That's a no-brainer there. 2 other people, past, present, or future, or dead or alive.
Famous, not famous.
Well,
you picked Bliss, so you.
No, Miss Bliss is, but they're a very good friend of mine. I'll link a video that they did. Post this in chat, Raven. As for the 2 other people, probably MCP, I guess. I don't really have any famous people in mind, so he's the e-celebrity, I guess. There's the creepypasta that Bliss narrated, and I posted on my channel. That's 2 people. Who's the third? Let's see. I'm just gonna. Oh yeah, I'll just pick Imagine Monster V because she'd add to the chaotic energy of what this legendary meeting would be, and she'd probably bring tons of alcohol. So I would be very grateful for V being there. So it's Bliss,
Okay.
Spike, and V.
Okay. Sounds very interesting. Cool. All right, Possessed Radio. Same question.
So,
He's like, what? Wait.
so I gotta think here. So anybody.
Anybody.
Wow. So I would probably end up going with Vincent Price.
Yeah.
You know, I'd probably just go for the trifecta. I'd do Vincent Price, Peter Cushing, and probably Christopher Lee.
Wow. Okay. I may have to change it up. I may have to I would switch up Peter Cushing and put in Lon Chaney.
That'd be a cool one too.
Or maybe Bella Lugosi.
Oh.
You could just get you could do Gary Oldman, Bela Lugosi, and you could do Christopher Lee. You could just do an all Dracula dinner.
Yeah. Or we could do your 3 and then I could get 3 and we could have lunch together and we could have 6.
Excellent.
So,
What about you, Cece?
it would definitely be Hulk Hogan, Randy Travis, and Tells to Chill.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
That is
Hulk Hogan,
interesting,
Randy
brother.
Travis, and Tales to Chill.
Yes.
Brother. Yep.
Hey, we got 15 people watching now. There's a bunch of new people. That's pretty
Oh,
cool.
well, let's
Yeah, we've got
introduce.
Wyndham. Oh, and Fearsome Hero.
Hi,
And Sleeping
Fearsome.
Wendigo.
Hi, Sleeping Wendigo.
People snuck in and we didn't even notice. And oh, and Seraphine. The
Hi,
Midnight Bard is here.
Seraphine. Hi, Seraphine. Awesome. So,
welcome all.
what is your favorite go-to movie snack? What?
I said Mike and Ike's.
Oh,
The
Mike and
green
Ike?
box.
The green box.
Mine would be Muddy Bears or sneaking cold chicken strips in. That works.
Right.
Oh, and don't forget the buffalo sauce, please. Thanks.
Yes, of course.
Okay, now I know last time I interviewed you, I asked about desserts and stuff, and I know that you're not that into sweets.
Yeah.
So this time I'm gonna just ask you what your favorite food is.
Favorite food is, it used to be hot dogs. Then it used to be pizza. Now, I just find I enjoy a good sandwich, as bland as that might be. A good Italian sub sandwich. That's probably it for me.
Okay, I got you. No, I get it.
Yeah. I used to eat, like, obviously I still eat a lot of high calorie foods these days, but not nearly as much as I did a couple years ago. So I've really just been trying to eat a little bit healthier, and sandwiches are just one of the easiest to make foods and easiest to acquire foods if you're going to the grocery store or Subway or some other sandwich place. So yeah, they're typically very cheap. and good for you. So
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Cool.
I've got a question for you about your channel. Do you
Mhm.
have any big projects coming up in the near future?
yes, I mentioned this before. Midnight Society VR, and I spoke about this on Traveler's Tavern, and I'm speaking about it here too. This is the second time that this will ever be mentioned in public. It is an event very similar to the Midnight Society organization, sort of in Are You Afraid of the Dark? And what it would involve is everybody getting into VR chat that wanted to participate or narrate. People would get up on a stage or in focus, one way or another, one by one, state their name, state I submit for the approval of the Midnight Society, and they would narrate a story of their choosing, mid-length, and after the fact, they would say why they chose it, why it's special to them, or whatever else they wanted to say. It doesn't really have to be specific. And they could answer a couple of questions from the audience or a chat that could be from a live stream that I could put up for it. So, yeah, Midnight Society VR story time. Be on the lookout for that. I'm still setting it up. I will probably actually be setting it up with members from the Nevermore Collective pretty soon, at least for number 1. I don't know about number 2 and beyond, but right now number 1 is just a test run. So be on the lookout for that pretty soon. Follow me if you want to see more.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does. So let's see what time it is. Okay, it's time. So who wants to start the closing?
Well, I know who's going to finish the closing.
Right?
Me.
Who?
Well, first off, let's see. Are there any more questions from chat? Does anybody else have anything they need to ask or want to ask Midnight Researcher?
Yeah.
That doesn't have anything to do with ketchup.
What?
Or I don't know, it does have something to do with ketchup. And tater tots. Ketchup
Raven
and tater
has a
tots.
question.
Hmm?
Oh, nope, he says he hasn't seen any. So,
Okay.
No,
all right.
No. He says, "What is my spirit animal?"
Oh, okay. My apologies,
okay.
Raven.
My spirit animal would. I gotta think on that one, but there's another question. So my spirit animal is probably something like a dog or something like that. I don't know. I haven't actually really thought about that.
A wolf.
Maybe not a wolf. Maybe something like a fox or a dog or something like that, I guess. But I think there's actually a way to determine that, and I haven't really looked into it that much. So,
Thank you, Patience.
okay. So there's a couple questions. How, Sleeping Wendigo? How would you kill us? Probably in similar ways, because I like to imagine that if I ever lost my mind enough to where I would want to kill people, I would want to kill people by just depriving them of food and drink and putting them in front of unfortunate circumstances like CCG having a bunch of clown girls taunt her with food and water. Derringer says, with the event you are holding in VR chat, you worried about random people coming and crashing the event, or is it a set group of people who will be in a private server of some sort? We're still working that out. I imagine at least the first one will be closed session, and maybe number 2 will be more open. But I don't think that. I think we're going to style it a little bit after the quote-unquote real Midnight Society, is that the location isn't known until the event is actually happening, and it's a select group of people who bring in more people just through them. No official way to join, so it adds to the mystique of it, that sort of thing.
Awesome answers.
Would it be like a rotating group?
Yes, there would not be the same group of narrators every single time, but obviously everybody is willing to, able and willing to participate in the audience as much as they want. There might be some repeat narrators, but it will not just be the same set group of people narrating each time. No.
Oh, that's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that idea. All right.
So let me change this up a little this week. I'll start. First of all, I want to say thank you to Patience and As the Raven Dreams for the Nevermore Collective channel for hosting us tonight. Thank you to all of you in chat. Thank you to Possessed Radio for being our guest host today. Thank
Anytime.
you to my sister from another mister, amazing female narrator, Filia Noctis, for being here with me again today. Also, would like to give a huge shout out and thank you to Midnight Researcher for an awesome interview. Really enjoyed having you. And until next week, remember, stay frightened, and always remember the graves do whisper. Next.
I guess
Steven?
everybody's going to do their outro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody get in, and then you do the final. You ready,
Of course.
Steven?
Yeah. So I just want to say thanks for having me on, guys. It's always fun. I appreciate hanging out with everybody. Always a good time. So thanks for listening.
Okay. I want to thank everybody in the chat for your questions and for being here with us and showing some love. And I want to thank Raven for being our tech dude and the Nevermore collection for letting us do this once again. I want to thank CCG for being my sister from another mister and doing this with me, and Possessed Radio, thank you for being here. And Midnight Researcher, again, thank you for coming and hanging out with us and talking and just being an all-around cool dude. And please, do your thing and make it sound good.
Can we get Raven to do a little outro? Or
No,
okay,
No.
then
if he usually doesn't.
so I'll just do my little charismatic outro again. But before we do that, I'm just gonna bump this one more time because I can see we have people joining the stream right now. So sorry, you've reached just about the end. But I'll say this again. This episode of Grave Matters was brought to you by the Nevermore Collective. The Nevermore Collective is a group of content creators that have come together to create a stage. This platform is for anyone in the community and is designed for content that may not fit on your normal channel. Currently, we have 2 interview shows, The Traveler's Tavern and Grave Matters. We also have some narrators that game on this channel and a show about cryptids. If you have any questions about joining or hosting a show on the platform, please reach out to any of them. As the Raven Dreams, PA Nightmares, or 242 Reads. I've been Midnight Researcher, and that's going to do it for this live stream, this episode of Grave Matters. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more live streams and videos like this one, and possibly other horror-related content. Thanks to all you horror fans for attending the stream. This has been CreepyClownGirl, Filia Noctis, Possessed Radio, As the Raven Dreams, and Midnight Researcher. And we will see you all around very, very soon. Thanks, guys.
Once you join the collective, you can leave. Nevermore.
Nevermore.